your teammates? And is this a bigger challenge even than you anticipated with the pandemic, with all that's going on and what you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I think every football season's a big challenge in one way or another. And obviously for me, changing teams after a long period of time, giving me an opportunity to really look at myself and what I want to continue to, achieve in my career and think that I can bring to a team. It's been different having the opportunity, over this time to, move and then to, for example, study my playbook. I mean, I really haven't had to do that in 19 years. So, you forget, man, that's really tough. Like all the different terminologies and, you're going back a very long time in my career to, to really have to put the mental energy in like I did. So I have to work at it pretty hard physically still. I put a lot of time and energy into making sure I'm feeling good in order to perform at my best. But mentally, I think that's been the thing that's, obviously has its challenges. And I think you couple that with, the coronavirus situation and it became even more difficult. So I think conversations we probably would have had, in April, we're having now. And I think that part is a bit challenging too. So, the only thing you do is, adjust to the situation, adapt the best way you can, put as much time and energy now as we can into it. And I think the reality is the clock's ticking on everybody. And we're going to have to work as hard as we can and not waste any minutes of any day trying to get used to one another and embrace the challenge and see it as an opportunity to see, what we can become.
Next up is going to be Ira Kaufman.
Tom, Jason Light and Bruce Arians, they both say that one of the primary reasons you're here, Tom, is to raise the accountability of everybody in the building, everybody around you. Tom, how seriously do you take that responsibility and how do you do it?
Well, at first I really enjoyed, being with Jason and getting to know Bruce, getting to know Byron and Clyde and a bunch of guys that I competed against either as a player, or with them as coaches. So it's been kind of fun in that way to, to see the different approaches to the game and so forth. Everybody sees football a little bit different. It's about how we all see it together and how we can all be on the same page as we move forward. Ultimately, my goal is to go out there and do what I've always done, is to be the best I could possibly be for the team. And, I've tried to catch passes in my career. I've tried to make blocks. I've had a few runs, but I'm not very good at any of those. I think my best ability is, reading defenses and throwing the football. So I think all of us being on the same page, which is something we're really working hard at, to try to get on the same page after, not having many opportunities. We haven't had really a full speed practice yet at all. So I'm anxious to get that started so I can start learning in a more typical way. So it certainly is, like I said, has its challenges.
Okay, next up is going to be Greg Allman.
Hey, Tom, thanks for doing this. Tom, the decision in terms of players opting out, I know the deadline is still today, and it's a very personal decision for everybody. But across the league, you've seen a lot of players doing it. You guys, Buccaneers, hadn't had any until today. You had one backup lineman announced today he's opting out. I just want to ask you about the buy-in factor when it comes to summer workouts, when it comes to what you've seen already. How much do you think your teammates have bought in on wanting to play and wanting to try and win something with you here?
Yeah, I think, again, all those things are, those are to be determined for all of us, as we move forward, and the type of buy-in and, really what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And you got to work hard every day to, bring your best emotional energy, to be at your best physically, to learn to know what to do in order to be your best. So, the guys that I've been around, it's been just that. I mean, guys are working really hard to get to know one another. Again, we haven't had any practices yet, so it's hard to, football and, throwing the ball around at a workout or something like that's a lot different than real football and being in the huddle and getting to know people in that way, knowing who you can really count on. But I think you just have to do what you can with we're all dealing with. Try to make the most of it and try to understand that the clock's ticking on all of us, and, we've got a lot of work to do in a very short amount of time.
Okay, next up is going to be Ed Encina.
Hi, Tom. Obviously, we know you're a guy who really, puts it all into your body. You really value taking care of your body. I mean, I'm just wondering, how much have you been concerned about COVID as we've gone on to the past few months? I know a few weeks ago you tweeted out the FDR quote, but the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. How worried are you, or what's your level of concern about it personally, and just also the league-wide that that you guys can get this season underway and completed, since it's one that's really important to you guys.
Yeah, I think you're just everyone's learning every single day a little bit more. So I think you just you take these things one day at a time, and the more you learn, I think we've all learned a lot over the last 5 or 6 months. I've always felt like taking care of my body was really important, not just for football, because that has been my job, but that's my quality of life in the future. I think you're of the belief that you either believe what you put into your body has an effect, or what you believe doesn't have an effect. And I think for me, in my experience, the better I've treated my body, the better I've eaten, the more hydrated I am, the better pliability treatments I get, the more sophisticated my workouts have been, the better my body's performed. So, for me, it's been, when something works, you do more of it. When you do more of it, you see better results. So I've really tried to, continue that throughout my career and build year after year. And it's given me a great opportunity to be at this age, still playing a sport that I love, because mentally I feel like I have, all the ability. I've seen every defense. There's no play I haven't run. There's no defense I haven't seen. It's just physically, are you still able to execute your job? And I'm very fortunate to still be able to do that. And I know it's a contact sport, and there's some things that are out of your control, but that's a pretty good lesson for life too. You don't have everything in control in life either. And the best you could do is prepare your body, prepare your mind for whatever comes at it. And then, you have to always be able to adjust and adapt as best as possible.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. Next up is going to be Mike Giardi from the NFL Network.
Hey, Tom, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. I'm just curious, you talked about not being able to practice with these guys, but you have been able to work out with them quite a bit. Just your impressions of the overall talent level at the skill positions around you. And then if I could just piggyback off that, how does Gronk look?
Yeah, we've had different, different times to work out together. It's been good being here in the building and actually being directed by the coaches of, this is what, we're going to work on, and these are the plays we're installing. So you have a better idea of how things are going to come together on the offense. So, the guys have worked really hard, and it's been fun getting to know the receiver position. There's a lot of, obviously, none of the guys I've played with, Gronk's the only guy I've really played with. So I know what he can do. And it's really up to everybody to go out there and earn their role. And, I've always believed that, you get out of it what you put into it. And a lot of guys are working really hard, and, they're working hard because it's their career and they want to do a great job. Regardless of who the quarterback was, that's important for all these guys. It's football matters to Mike and to Chris. I've loved being around those two guys who are great leaders, not only great players, but great leaders. Cam and OJ, who have been here, have been, really great, along with the other tight ends in the group, Dare, Rojo. I met Shady the other day here on the practice field. So it's a good, hardworking group, really smart players. And again, it's going to be up to all of us to come together and to see how we can make it all work.
Okay, our last question is going to come from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Tom. you've been in the same place for 20 plus years. So what is it like for you coming to this new place? When will Tampa Bay start to feel like home for you? Not just off the field, but on the field in Bruce Arians' offense? When will you know you've reached that point?
It's a good question. I mean, again, I think part of, I said earlier is, you're trying to learn a bunch of different things, and you're trying to, not only learn an offense, but learn your way to work, or learn guys' names. I didn't even know where the quarterback room was, or the full team meeting room was. So you get in here and your brain's trying to figure out a lot of different things. So every day that goes by, it's getting a little bit better. I'm glad we're not playing a game, this Sunday. I'm glad we have time to prepare. It's been a good week or so being in here. And I think every day I'm trying to take advantage of the opportunity to improve myself so that I can be the best quarterback for this team that this team really deserves. These guys are working really hard, and I want to come in here and do a great job for them.
All right, that's all for today. Tom, thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great day. Thank you.